everybody, so today I'm going to do a kind of different video. I haven't done a video like this really ever on my channel. I think I've done one and it was like when I first started my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about makeup brushes. A while ago I did a cruelty-free beginner's makeup bag kind of video where I just compiled all of the different things I would put together if I was putting together a beginner's cruelty-free makeup bag. So today I kind of want, I will put that video up here also, just so you know. But today I want to do kind of something along the same lines, but probably a little bit less compressed because I have a lot of different things to talk about. Today I want to go through my favorite cruelty-free and synthetic, aka vegan brushes, and just kind of give you some recommendations if you're just starting out, or maybe you only have like 2 or 3 brushes and you really want to expand your brush collection. I will have a couple different sets that I will talk about, and I will also have a ton of individual specific brush recommendations, and I have it kind of broken up into categories, so hopefully if you need brush recommendations you will get a couple here. So there's going to be a lot of information in this video. I'm going to go through the brushes pretty dang quick. Also, there isn't a tutorial for this look, but I made it match my nails, which is Magic City from Kathleen Lights. But I pretty much just did the exact same thing I did in my green makeup tutorial, but with like oranges. So I'll put the tutorial or the like get ready with me for that green look here so you can see at least like what techniques I used, or like, you know, that, but I just used orange eyeshadow. So anyways, if you're wondering, that's what's going on. And I will have everything that I have on my face listed in the description box. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into some cruelty-free and vegan brush recommendations for beginners, but also just for everybody. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to think about is how many brushes do you have and how many brushes do you want? Do you want to buy a set? Do you just need a couple individual brushes to kind of like, you know, make your collection complete? Do you need both? That's something that you're gonna have to think about, is what do you want from your brush collection? I will also say that brushes definitely take trial and error. I could recommend a brush for something, but somebody else could totally not like it for that. Like, I know a lot of my favorite beauty bloggers love brushes like this for bronzer. I hate brushes like this for bronzer. So it's one of those things where I may recommend something, but if a brush looks interesting to you, go ahead and pick it up and see if it works for you, and try multiple brushes for multiple different things. Again, like, you know, bronzer brushes and blush brushes and Oliver setting brushes and like highlighting brushes, like they're so interchangeable, so just try out brushes. It is a trial and error process, so I just wanted to put that out there real quick. So let's talk about brush sets, because I feel like that's probably, you know, one of the easiest ways to go about getting a new brush set. You know, getting a brush collection is to just buy a brush collection. Usually they are relatively expensive, but usually they are also worth it, because if you break down the individual price of the brush, it's usually at a discounted price. I actually don't have a lot of brush sets. The 2 that I absolutely love and would totally recommend are the BH Cosmetics brush sets. This one and all of my brushes that I use in my videos with these little pink and rose gold handles are from the BH Chic set. It was like $25 for 12 brushes. You got like a cute little carrying case, and BH Cosmetics has a ton of different brush sets, and since they're so affordable, I mean, you could pick out 2 brush sets for like $60, and that will give you so many brushes. Some brushes that, you know, you may not use, but some brushes that you may totally use, and that's kind of the risk with brush sets too, is that, you know, you're gonna have 12 brushes and maybe 4 of them you won't get use out of. So that's something you have to, you know, take into consideration. But I totally love the BH Cosmetics brush sets. I think they're absolutely fantastic, and I honestly recommend them to my friends all the freaking time. All the freaking time. The next brush that I purchased was a Sigma brush set, and I don't know if they offer it anymore. If they do, of course, I will have all these brush sets that I'm talking about. All these, I'm talking about like 2. But I'll have everything that I'm talking about listed in the description box, so hopefully they still sell it. It was like $125 for like 13 brushes, which I thought was a fantastic deal, and it was just an eye set, because when I went through my makeup brush collection, I got rid of a lot of those like detail eye brushes that I really needed. So I just decided to just pick up this kit, because there were a couple brushes in that kit where I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'll use those, but I ended up finding ways to use them anyways, so it was 100% worth it. I did also use a discount code, and so I saved like, I think I saved like 15 or 20%, which it doesn't sound like a lot, like on a $100 set, that's $20 off, or like $15, $20 off. So it's totally worth it. Use all the discount codes that you can. Like I said, if they still offer it, I do definitely, if you're really in need of eye brushes, I use these brushes all the time. They're great quality, and yeah, that's really the only other set that I purchased. I have gotten sets from like Bdellium tools and things like that, and I definitely kind of pick apart those sets and just, you know, kind of use the one or two that I really, really, really love. But that is something you're going to have to consider, and I totally recommend BH Cosmetics and Sigma and Bdellium tools too. Bdellium tools has some awesome brush sets. But it's one of those things where you're gonna have to consider what you need. So the other option is to buy a ton of individual brushes. This can run you kind of a lot of money because, again, usually when you buy bundles, they're at a discounted price, but you can find a lot of different affordable brushes and kind of, you know, build your own kit of makeup brushes. This will probably take the longest amount of time, and again, I think it's the most expensive option because, especially if you're ordering online, maybe you have to order a couple from this site and a couple from this site and a couple from this site, and just the price of shipping alone is going to be more expensive. So I don't necessarily recommend like just buying a ton of individual brushes unless you only want, you know, like maybe like 5 makeup brushes and you just want those staples, then yes, 100% do that. But if you're trying to get like a brush collection, I would totally recommend buying a brush set and then filling in the gaps with individual brushes. That's what I have done, and that's what I think is the smartest economically. Like, I think that's the smartest on your wallet and the smartest for your makeup setup, because that way, you know, you can get a brush set and then you can fill it in and be like, oh, okay, well, I need this blending brush now, or I need a different blush brush now, and you can kind of get an idea of where the gaps are. So that's my little spiel about just trying to figure out what you want from a brush set. I'm so sorry that that was like way longer and probably way less eloquent than I wanted it to be, but anyways, let's get into the individual brushes. Again, I'm going to go through these very, very quick. I have them kind of organized into clumps, and I have them kind of in order of how you would put on your makeup. We're going to start with face brushes and then go on with eye brushes. Alright, let's go. First, I'm going to recommend, and these are just like, I have obviously used a ton of makeup brushes, but we would be here for years if I went through all the makeup brushes that I have ever liked. So these ones are just the ones that I currently love, or they're just like staples that I absolutely would recommend. So let's start with foundation. I have 2 foundation brushes to talk about, and I know most people use like beauty blenders or beauty sponges for makeup, for foundation, but every once in a while it's nice to use a foundation brush. So the 2 that I'm going to recommend, this one is the Moda 801 brush. I absolutely love this. It's one of those kind of like artiste dupes. It comes in a kit with 4 different sizes, so you can use like different sizes for like concealer and stuff like that. It's like $20, and you can buy it at like Walmart, and $20 for like 4 brushes. Totally love this. I love this for thicker foundations and much more pigmented foundations. I love this for my Marc Jacobs Remarkable. It's the only way I put on my Marc Jacobs Remarkable. It is absolutely fantastic, and all like Moda and Royal and Langnickel brushes, totally recommend. I have a couple more to talk about. They're fantastic. So the next makeup brush has been one that's been in my collection for super, super long, and I love it for more liquidy foundations, more like Smashbox Studio Skin or like Urban Decay Naked Skin foundation, and it is the Makeup Geek Foundation Stippling Brush. This is like a flat top kabuki. It's not as dense as most foundation brushes out there, but it applies foundation beautifully. And I know everybody loves the Sigma F80, but like look how, can you guys see how much hair has started to shed out of this? This one is a nice dense kabuki. I have had this for probably, oh god, probably like going on 4 years now. But I like this one more, and I think the Sigma F80 is a little bit overrated. I really like this one. Next, okay, one powder brush I don't have here to talk about, and it is the e.l.f. Complexion brush. I will put it here. If you have been on my channel, you remember this brush. That is like literally for like 2 years. That's like the only brush that I used to set my face. I absolutely love that brush. It's like $3. It's absolutely fantastic. e.l.f. also has like a tapered powder brush that I used for a really, really long time that I found it. This is, again, the e.l.f. pointed powder brush. I love this for setting all over the face, and you could also try this for bronzer or blush if you like bigger brushes for bronzer and blush. I personally don't, but again, one of those multi-use items that you could get multiple uses out of. Next, this one is my current obsession, and this is the BH Cosmetics V1 brush. This is so fluffy and like pretty dense for a fluffy brush, and I love this for setting all over the face, especially if you have oily skin and you really like your foundation to be set down. The nice kind of level of denseness in this brush really packs on the powder, but it's not too dense to where you can't swirl it. So I like this because you can pack it and then swirl it around without disturbing your foundation underneath. So I absolutely love this brush, and this was like, I want to say it was like $5 or $6. It was so affordable. Next, let's go into bronzer. So I hope you can still find this. I have had this brush since before I started my YouTube channel. I have had this brush for so long. I have no idea what it's called. It's from Ecotools, and it's an angled brush. This is my favorite way to apply bronzer, is with these sort of angled brushes. I like it because you can just like, you can kind of like contour and bronze at the same time, because since it's more dense down here and loosens up here, it just kind of blends for you. I absolutely love this brush. I know Ecotools has to have something similar to this. I'll try to find something and link it down below, but I personally love bronzer brushes like this. I don't like huge bronzer brushes because I've kind of, I don't know, I have like a small area to bronze, so I don't need a huge bronzer brush. This one has just been my ride or die for absolutely so long. I love it, and Ecotools is, again, is super affordable. You can find it at Ulta, Walmart, Walgreens, a ton of different places. I have to talk about my favorite contouring brush that I have found. It is the Bdellium Tools Duo Fiber Face Shading Brush. I love this because most contour brushes like this, those like kind of, those harsh kind of squared off contouring brushes, usually they're really stiff. I really don't like the Makeup Geek one. I find it's really stiff and kind of rough, and even Bdellium Tools sent me one that's like similar to this, but it was just a little bit more stiff. This one is so soft and so flexible. It's amazing. It's seriously, oh, Bdellium Tools brushes are so soft, and I just find this amazing for contouring because, again, you can blend with it. It's really soft, really flexible, but it still gives a really strong contour without being too harsh or unforgiving. I love it. Okay, next I have a couple blush brushes to talk about. One is for more pigmented blushes, I would say, and one is for blushes you can build. This one actually came in the BH Cosmetics Chic, like BH Chic set, and this one is just the number 2 brush. I love this for blushes that are just normal in pigment, not those like crazy pigmented blushes, because you can really just kind of like build it up. Again, it has a nice flex to it, and I like that it comes to kind of like, it's like domed, so you don't like apply too much in kind of one area. You can kind of press it down a little bit and then blend as well. I really like this brush. And the next, y'all could probably see coming because I've been obsessed with it recently. It is the Bdellium Tools Tapered Highlighting Brush. I love this for super pigmented blushes. Those pigmented blushes that you want to use but you're afraid of turning into a clown, this is your best friend. And also, like, I use this for pretty much all of my blushes too. You can like just kind of dip in and really go in without being afraid of applying too much blush. I love this brush. It is so dang soft, and it just applies blush in the most beautiful way. You can also use this for highlighting. If you like a more like all over kind of face highlight, you could totally use it for this. Use this for that. I love this brush so much. Okay, next I have highlighting / setting brushes. I'm going to put those in the same category because they pretty much can be used for the exact same thing. I have one that I use mostly for setting and one that I use mostly for highlighting. So let's just get into it. Let's first talk about setting. This one to me is a little bit too big for highlighting. I like a small, precise highlighting brush, but I love this for setting my under eyes. It is the Bdellium Tools Golden Triangle Tapered Contour Brush. This is a contour brush. Again, you probably could contour with this. Brushes are multi-use, but I'm just going to clean up my contour with this real quick. I love this for setting under eyes because you can really like, you can even like bake with this, like you can really pack it on there, and it's nice. It's a nice size to where you can really like go in with powder and not have to like it just gets the job done really easy. Again, these are very soft bristles, so it's not like scratchy on your face, and I just love it. And then I have 2 brushes that again could definitely be highlighting or setting brushes. The first is the Real Techniques setting brush. I feel like this is just like an iconic brush. You absolutely need this brush in your collection. I used to use this for setting my under eyes, and I really like it, especially for like corrective powders. Like if I want to put a yellow powder right in the hollows of my under eyes, I really like this brush. But again, you can also use this to highlight. A really similar brush that I absolutely love is the Moda M19 Highlight and Glow brush. Vegan Beauty Addict turned me on to this brush. It's just beautiful. Again, really similar to this one. They're like almost identical. I would say this one is just a little bit more pointed and a little bit more flat, but it could be just because this one is old. It's kind of like, pfft. But really similar brushes. I think the Real Techniques will be easier to find, but I think you can order these off of Amazon. You can also look, again, in Walmart sells these. I love this brush for highlighting because it's so pointed that you can really just get like such a precise highlight. It's so soft, really affordable. Both of these are around like $7 or less. Love these both for highlighting. Again, you could also use these for setting. Okay, face brushes are down. Again, those are just some like I just kind of picked the ones that I like, and those are just kind of my vague recommendations. So let's get into eye brushes. I have it kind of organized into like fluffy blending brushes, more kind of detail blending brushes, and then etc. So all of the other blending brushes that I think would be very helpful to have in a collection. So I really only have a few, and I really tried to pick the affordable ones, because if I have a Sigma brush and I have a Wet n Wild brush and they work the same, I'm gonna recommend the Wet n Wild brush because it's cheaper. Like, yes, of course the Sigma one is good, and I will still say that, but you know what I mean? I really want to try to make my recommendations as affordable as possible. So just throwing that out there. So the first kind of fluffy blending brush that you absolutely 100% need in your collection are the Wet n Wild blending brushes. This is the exact same brush. One's dirty because both of these are dirty because I used both of them today, but these are so cheap and so good. I don't like a lot of these Wet n Wild brushes. I haven't tried the new ones, but a lot of these I find don't work very well, but this one and another one I'm going to talk about in a little bit are absolutely amazing. Super soft, really fluffy, and really good for just like blending transition colors into the crease, blending out the crease, blending on your lower lash line, any sort of blending you need to do, this will get the job done. They clean up really well. I haven't had like any of them shed on me, and I've washed these so much. I love these Wet n Wild blending brushes. And then this next one this is probably my favorite blending brush ever. It is the Moda M16 crease brush. I love this one in particular because it's tapered, so it just fluffs out in the most beautiful way. I love this blending brush. Again, really good, just kind of fluffy blending brush for just buff colors out into your crease, to blend two colors together, whatever. Again, perfect blending brush. This is one of my favorites ever. I do just want to talk about the Sigma E40 for a second and why it's not in there. It's because the Sigma E40 doesn't taper out enough, and I feel like it blends my eyeshadow into kind of a line because it just seems like a tube of just hair that kind of fluffs out. Whereas like this one really just kind of fluffs out, which I find disperses color in a lot more even and makes it a little bit easier to blend, whereas this one I feel like is just kind of a tube of hair. It's not a nice blending brush, but for all over blending, I recommend this one. However, a brush from Sigma that I do think you need in your collection is the E25. This is one of those iconic brushes where like there's like a MAC brush and there's a Morphe brush and there's a Sigma brush of this exact same. It's like a paddle style brush. It's absolutely amazing, and these brushes, brushes like this, are something that you just need in your collection. They're awesome for like crease work, for packing in the inner and outer corner and blending through the crease, and then you take your bigger blending brush and blend that out as well. Just an awesome brush. But I will also say that if you don't want to spend the money on the Sigma brush, these next brushes I'm about to talk about will get the job done without buying the Sigma brush. So that's that. So the next is again by Royal and Langnickel. This is the Moda M19 shader brush, and I want to talk about this one too because they're really similar. This one is the base shadow brush from Real Techniques. As you can see, they're a very, very similar shape. This one is just a little bit more tapered. I love these because they're both kind of paddle brushes, so they're brushes that you can use to pack shadow on and then turn it to its side and blend as well. They're also really they're like pointed, so you can get like a deeper color right onto the tip of your brush and use that to like deepen the crease or inner and outer corner. And then if you just press a little bit harder, like put a little bit more pressure, then you can blend with it as well. So these are both of these are great, fantastic multi-use brushes. I would not take these out of my makeup collection. Like, you literally could not pry these from my hands. I love them. Another one that's very similar, but I would say this one is really good if you have smaller eyes or if you like to do like a little bit more precise of blending. This one is the Golden Triangle 776 blending brush. This one is very, very similar to the E35, right? E25 from Sigma, but a little bit shorter is the only thing. It's a little bit more stocky, I guess you could say. And I really, really like this brush, again, for packing color in the crease while also being able to blend. Pretty much this one and the Sigma E25, I would say, are pretty interchangeable. This one is just a little bit shorter and stockier, again, like I said, so it's better for packing color while also blending. I find that this one works the best for like really packing on color. Okay, the next is kind of the Etc. Plus Brows. My brow brush is in here as well. Another Wet n Wild brush that you need to buy absolutely are these little guys. I have no idea what they're called, but they're like fluffy paddle brushes. These looked like kind of like they were trying to be a Sigma E25, but they don't blend nearly as well because they are very dense. I love these for packing shadow on the lid. As you can see, like, this is the one that I use to pack shadow all over the lid. Love these for packing shadow, you know, in the inner corner, on the lid. You can use it for the brow bone. I love these brushes, and again, they're so affordable. Like I said, I keep 2 in them in my collection because I just have so many ways to use these, and you just always need some sort of just like lid color brush, you know what I mean? And this one is just fantastic. Speaking of a lid color brush, if you're trying to like get a full complete collection, you absolutely need some sort of synthetic flat brush for like cutting your crease, for glitters, for pigments, anything like that. And this is the one that I have found that I absolutely love. It is the Bdellium Tools 937 brush, and this is just a super flat, super sharp, but really, really soft. I mean, you could use this for like spot concealing too if that's something you like to do, but this just works so well for really like if you're carving your crease, if you're packing on glitters, packing on pigments, all the things I've already said. It's just a really, really good flat synthetic brush that I think is a staple in any Makeup Addicts collection. The next is again from the BH Chic palette. This one is the number 6 brush. I love this brush because a lot of brushes like this are more like this, where they're very, very kind of stiff and more like for liner. I love this brush for blending colors on my lower lash line because it's really soft. It's not scratchy at all, which most brushes like this are usually pretty scratchy. I love this one. Y'all know how much I blend colors on my lower lash line, and I just love this because it's the perfect size and you can pack on the color and blend it down, and it really like blends super, super well. And again, it's not scratchy. I can't say how many brushes I've tried for this purpose that are scratchy, and you don't want scratchy stuff on your under eyes, like, ow, no. So absolutely love this brush and really, really recommend this particular brush set. Alright, next is the Sigma pencil brush, the E30 brush. There's a lot of different pencil brushes out there, and I will say that there are probably some affordable ones that you can like use and get away with, but this one is my absolute favorite because, again, really similar to the last brush that I talked about, this one is not scratchy. It's nice and super pointed. This is my favorite brush to highlight my inner corner with, and like, again, you can use it in the outer corner for really, really detailed crease work. You can use this on your lower lash line to blend. It's a pencil brush. I mean, you use it for what a pencil brush is for. And again, I really, really do think the Sigma one is fantastic and totally worth it. I haven't tried one from the drugstore that like I keep going back to. This is the one that I keep going back to, so this is the one I'm gonna recommend. This brush is in like my top 3 favorite makeup brushes ever, and it is the Sigma Small Taper Blending E45. Look how tapered this little guy is. I love. This is literally the perfect brush for deepening looks with black shadow, because you know black shadow is really intimidating to put into a makeup look. You're doing these like fun colored like eyeshadow looks, or like you're doing like something bronzy and you want it to be like soft, and then like you want to deepen up the look but you don't want to ruin it with the black shadow. This is the most user-friendly brush ever, because you can literally just take the black eyeshadow just right onto the tip and just like place it exactly where you need it, and then you can blend it with this as well. Again, you can, you know, just barely put the black on and then give it a little bit more pressure and you can blend with it as well. This is holy grail, such a staple in my makeup collection, because I do a lot of looks with like colors and then I go in with black, and I'll just go in like right in the like outer corner, or like right in the inner corner, or right in the crease. And this is just, again, super, super user friendly. That's the best way I can put it. Holy grail, love this brush so much. Last brush is my brow brush. If you have been on my channel for a really long time, you know exactly what brow brush I use, and it is the Anastasia number 12 brush. I use this so much, I've gone through 2 of them. It is so small, so precise. I do know, like with brow brushes, if you use a brush to fill in your brows, you do need to clean it before every use, because it just gets like gunky and you really can't get a precise brow. I just use the e.l.f. Daily Brush Cleaner, and just every day when I'm done doing my brows, I will just spray a little bit of this and then just wipe it on like a cloth, and it's good for the next day. I think this brush is literally the best brush for brows like mine ever, because it is just so small and precise and tight. Like, this is a very tightly put together brush, and that's my problem with a lot of angled brushes that I've tried, is that the bristles are just too loose and you really can't get that precise line with this. Holy grail. Again, this is another brush that you could not pry away from me if you tried, guaranteed. So last brush, Anastasia number 12, 100% recommend for brows. Alright everybody, so those are all of my favorite brushes, my recommendations for y'all. If you guys are looking for new brushes, comment down below and let me know if you've tried any of these brushes, if you liked them. Let me know what kind of brush you're looking for. Maybe, you know, we can like collab and try to like figure something out. I love you guys so much, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!